I paid only $440 for a working RTX 3090 NVIDIA card. It's completely water blocked, and in this video I will tell you why it's a dumb idea. I bought this RTX 3090 Extreme Water Force Water Block Edition from Gigabyte off eBay. This is exactly how it arrived to me. Not much for retail packaging. The first thing I noticed after opening up, inspecting the pins, there seemed like there was no damage. Here's the NVLink connector. Seemed all fine, but the first thing I noticed was that, wow, these are some thick thermal pads. This is definitely not done in the factory. Also, check out that bend. That's definitely not a stock layout. I paid only $440 for this MSRP of $1,800 card. But it's probably a complete waste. I still don't know if this actually posts. I just received in the mail. The seller on eBay said that it was parts only and that they are only an Amazon reseller. So who knows why it could have been returned. Just to show you guys what I ended up buying, I bought this RTX 3090 Extreme Water Force Edition off of eBay for $439. I bought the last one available. Someone else before me skipped up the other one. If I go down to the bottom of the listing, it's listed as a parts only product, not working. But if you read the listing, it says parts only, condition unsure. They specify that they're an Amazon return items seller, and that the first sold will come with a guide pamphlet. As I bought the second one, I didn't get the guide pamphlet. But they say, as Amazon resellers, in the past they have received parts taken off of items and then returned as damage. And because of this, they sell everything that they are unsure of as parts only. I looked at their feedback, and I determined that it was probably a legitimate seller. Now, I want to be clear. I don't recommend anyone goes out and does this. When I bought the card, I treated that $440 I spent, plus tax, as a loss. If the card arrived to me completely dead, that's what I expected, and I was either going to spend one, a little bit of time to revive it, or two, just end up reselling it as parts only again on eBay, but being clear that it doesn't work this time, as the seller who sold it to me said that they hadn't tested it. Here's the system I pulled out of my closet. I didn't actually want to plug it into my main system in case the card was actually bad and ended up frying some components. All these components I have are from an old system, not really that old actually. It's got a B550 board with a 3700X and an 850 watt power supply. I was using this as a server rack, but as you can see I took all my hard drives out of it. So these are all components I'm willing to lose in case the board actually does cause an issue. Here's what the card looks like plugged into my system. I still haven't powered it on yet, so I actually don't know if it works yet. I put the small fan on here in an attempt to actually cool the back plate of the card a little bit while I'm making sure I can boot into Windows and have it post. Hopefully it doesn't actually overheat. This case has been through some tough times. The power connector on the button actually doesn't work on it. So while I have the power supply turned on, I use a small screwdriver to connect the two pins for power. Hopefully this works and I don't fry my board. I got the fan spinning. Sorry for the noise. These fans in the back don't really work. We got lights. That's a good sign. Let's look at the monitor. That's a really good sign. The only error here is I don't have a keyboard plugged in. I'll rectify that in a minute. As you can see, while I walked up to grab a keyboard, I grabbed this small little wireless Logitech keyboard. It actually posted the Windows. While the card is still running, I still have to be very aware of the fact that it's not cool right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up GPU-Z, which I already have installed in this computer. I want to verify to make sure that the card is reporting correctly. I'm surprised to get this far. It was this easy. I just plugged it in and it worked. GPU-Z opened up. It's reporting as an RTX 3090. The link speed is 16.4.0. That just dropped down. I'm guessing that's because it's an idle. I expect when I fully boot up the system and it's running, that it'll operate at the full PCI 4.0 16 speed. And we have 24 gigabytes of memory. So while I have the card running, if you remember, the first thing I pointed out that I noticed when I opened the box is that these thermal pads were replaced. These are definitely not the stock thickness. One of the worst things you can do when replacing thermal pads is put the wrong thickness on there. It can cause some serious issues with memory. So on the computer, I opened up Hardware Info 64, and I'm looking at the thermal temps here. Even without stock cooling, even without any water running through the system, the memory junction temperature, it actually isn't even that bad. That was the one thing I'm worried about. I still need to run the whole system in a while loop to make sure that it operates at full speed before I know whether or not I have to replace anything. But this is a really good sign. Searching for similar items on eBay, I can see other items are priced over $1,200 plus $50 in shipping just for the same item. This open box item is $2,000, or this brand new one for $3,100. Now, I don't believe people are actually going to buy these products in the current market for this rate, but it just shows how much of a good deal I got if this actually works at full load. So there you have it. I purchased this RTX 3090 for only $440 as a parts-only eBay listing. I had no idea if it would work, but as far as I'm concerned, it works 100% right now. The one thing I have to do in the next few days is build out a complete water cooling loop so I can test it under load. I'll keep you guys updated as I do that.